am the legislative chair for the Democratic Women's Club of Florida, and it's my honor to be presenting the basics of the Florida legislative process to you. While we know that civic engagement is crucial to a vibrant, representative democracy, we often think that simply voting for a candidate during election time is fulfilling that duty. Yet there is so much more that we can do to make sure our voices are informed, engaged, and heard. This is especially true when the Florida legislature is in session every year. Too often, we remain silent when decisions are being made in Tallahassee that affect our daily personal lives. In fact, many of us do not even know the names of the legislators who represent us. This is not entirely a surprise. The Florida legislative process can seem very remote and confusing. So we hope that this introduction to the Florida legislature will shed some clarity and that most of all, it will motivate you to make your voices heard. After all, these are the bills impacting the daily lives of you and your families. So let's get started. The Florida state government, like our federal government, consists of three branches. The legislative branch is the branch that makes the laws. It is a bicameral branch, meaning it has two chambers or floors. The upper chamber is the Senate. The lower chamber is the House of Representatives. In Florida, it is a part-time rulemaking body with an annual 60-day regular session. The executive branch is the branch that carries out the laws. It consists of the governor, the lieutenant governor, the commissioner of agriculture, the attorney general, chief financial officer, and other administrative offices. The judicial branch is the branch that evaluates the laws. It consists of the Florida Supreme Court, 5 district courts of appeal, 2 forms of trial courts, the circuit and the county. In the remainder of this presentation, I will focus only on the legislative branch, the one that makes the laws. The Florida Senate is the upper house of the Florida legislature, and it is composed of 40 members. Now, you may wonder how we determine the number of state senators that a state will have. States are divided into districts, drawn on the basis of population figures provided by the decennial census. This is why it is so important to have an accurate census. In the state of Florida, each of the 40 senators is elected from 40 single-member districts with a population of approximately 470,000 residents each. You will notice in the map that some districts, especially in South Florida, may look small in size, but they actually have the same number of residents as some of the larger districts in Northwest Florida or Central Florida. Senators' terms begin immediately upon their election. They serve 4-year terms, and they are limited to 2 terms. The Florida House of Representatives is the lower house of the Florida legislature and is composed of 120 members. The number of representatives is determined in the same way as the number of senators, but each representative is elected from a single-member district with a population of approximately 157,000 residents. Representatives' terms begin immediately upon their election. They serve 2-year terms and are limited to 4 terms. Republicans currently hold the majority in the Senate with 24 seats, and Democrats are in the minority with 16 seats. This year, the Senate is led by Republican President Wilton Simpson. The Republicans also hold the majority in the House of Representatives with 78 seats, and Democrats are in the minority with 42 seats. The House is currently led by Republican Speaker of the House, Chris Sprowls. The Florida Senate President and the Speaker of the House are the new legislative branch leaders. They hold the 2 most important positions in the legislature as they wield the most power. They are elected by the majority of members. They appoint committee chairs. They refer bills to committees of reference, and they work with the committee chairs to decide if bills get heard. The Democratic minority leadership has changed for 2022. The new Senate minority leader is Lauren Book. The House minority leader is Representative Bobby Dubose. The legislative session calendar changes every year. In even years, the session starts in January. In odd years, the session starts in March. Therefore, the next session in 2022 will start January 11th and end 60 days later on March 11th. In the next slides, I will discuss the types of bills that can be filed in the state legislature and the process by which a bill must travel before it can become established law. A bill can be drafted and filed by a senator, a House member, a committee, or a subcommittee. You can distinguish Senate bills from House bills by the letters that precede their number, and if they are odd or even numbered bills. House bills are preceded by the letter H and have odd numbers. Senate bills are preceded by the letter S and have even numbers. While senators can sponsor an unlimited number of bills, House members are limited to 7 bills as main sponsor. Both senators and House members can co-sponsor an unlimited number of bills. Companion bills are those bills filed in one chamber, for example the House, that are similar or identical to those bills filed in the other chamber, such as the Senate. The use of companion bills allows bills to move in both chambers somewhat simultaneously, thereby speeding the process to final bill approval prior to submission to the governor. There are different types of bills that the legislature can draft and file. House bills and Senate bills are considered to be regular legislation and make up the majority of bill types. Joint resolutions are state constitutional amendments. House resolutions and Senate resolutions are designed to express approval or recognition. House memorials and Senate memorials voice concerns or indicate opinions to the U.S. Congress. And concurrent resolutions are meant to voice rejection or ratification of amendments to the U.S. Constitution. This slide depicts the bill process through a chamber, which is identical in the other chamber. In the upper left corner, you will see that a bill starts with an idea, and that idea is drafted into bill language, and then the bill is filed for its first reading. The bill is then assigned by the Senate President or the Speaker of the House to 2 or more committees, depending upon the subject of the bill. For example, an education bill will go to the Education Committee at some point. A criminal justice bill will go to the Criminal Justice Committee, and so on. It is here during the committee process that many bills die without ever being heard and voted in their first committees. If a bill is heard in committee, it may undergo changes or amendments before a final vote is taken. If a bill is approved in committee, it moves to each subsequent committee of reference for debate, voting, and potential amendments. But if a bill is voted down in committee, it cannot move on to the next committee. In other words, it dies in committee. Once a bill goes through this iterative process, it is referred to the floor of that chamber for further action, debate, amendments, and a vote by all members in that chamber. After a bill passes one chamber of the legislature, it must proceed to the other chamber for passage, or not. And the process begins all over. This is why it is so advantageous to have companion bills
so the process takes place simultaneously. Otherwise, the bill risks running out of time for committee hearings. Once a bill has passed both chambers and the two bodies have worked out an identical form, it proceeds to the governor for his or her signature and thus becomes law. If the governor does not sign the bill, it becomes law within 7 days. If the governor vetoes the bill, it takes a 2/3 majority vote in each chamber to override the veto and become law.
So that is it. Florida legislature in a nutshell. We at the Democratic Women's Club of Florida hope you found this to be helpful. By the way, we soon plan to present another brief training on how to track a bill through the Florida legislature. That can be very helpful when you want to identify and follow your own specific types of legislation, possibly targeted to your own legislator, community, or specific subject area. But in the meantime, if you are already a member of the Democratic Women's Club of Florida and would like to join our legislative action team, please email me, Jean Siebenaler, at j.siebenaler@gmail.com. You will receive notifications about our weekly Zoom meetings where we discuss bills important to Democratic Women Club members that are being heard in legislative committees. Our bills cover a multitude of legislative subject areas, including civil and human rights, criminal justice, the economy, education, the environment, gun safety, health and safety, including women's health, immigration, state preemption, and voting and elections. You would also receive our action alerts that can help you to easily understand a bill and take action to contact the appropriate legislators with your support or opposition to the bills. If you would like to become a member of the Democratic Women's Club of Florida and enjoy all of the benefits of membership, please visit www.dwcf.org and search under Find a Local Club. We would love to meet you and work with you to make our voices heard. After all, it is so much more empowering and enjoyable when we do it together. Until then, thank you again for your interest. We hope to see you soon at a Democratic Women's Club of Florida event.